What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's good to see you today on the Speak and See Show. I ask you to like, subscribe, and click that notification button so when I get information out, you can get information in. Look, I am so happy to come forth and tell you all today that the Physical Infrastructure Bill has passed the House and the Senate. Yes, it is in, as we were speaking about. And as I had gone over before, the ledger that Janet Yellen had put out to Congress and to the president saying, and the president was with it saying, look, we need to tax cryptocurrencies, anything from $10,000 or up. You know what? It could be a little bit less than that too. So if you're interested in keeping your crypto money safe from the taxing that the government plans on spending on you, even though I am not going to be putting this video out for you to go out and evade your taxes. Listen, I know the government needs the money a lot more than you do. So I'm just going to be telling you the ways that the government will be taxing and where they will not be taxing as far as cryptocurrencies go, so that you know what to do with your money. And I am just want to encourage you once more. Pay your taxes. This is an educational video. It is no way, shape, or form a way to tell you what to do with your finances or whatnot. This is just how the system shall be playing out in the future as far as your cryptocurrency is concerned. I heard one person say, look, let's not get political on cryptocurrency, okay? Here we go. This is where we have to divide the players from the non-players, because every time somebody political comes out and says something that is going to affect money in the cryptocurrency world, stocks usually drop. And when they don't talk, when Congress and Senate, like say they've been gone now, they've been out of session dealing with infrastructure bills only for the last month or so, we've seen the stocks rise. So if you're not politically inclined to thinking about who's talking, when they're talking, and where they're going to be talking at and what they're going to be talking about, then you might want to think about getting out of cryptocurrency if you don't want to get into politics. So this has a little bit of politics to it, because politics is playing a big role as far as that over maybe $3 trillion almost now going into cryptocurrency. They want to tax it, and that's 30% capital gains tax. So 30% of that would be $1 trillion. So that would be really good for the federal government to get your money. So here we go. I am going to go over this portion of the video and telling you where they're going to be taxing, how they're going to be taxing, and how you can, but we don't want to do that, because like I said, the government needs the money more than all of us. I just think that they do, and we should make sure that they get our money. Guys, like, subscribe, and click that notification button. Here we go. There are new tax law changes that they just passed in the new infrastructure bill. Notice they don't tell us what's in the bill until it passes. I wonder why that is. All crypto exchanges will now be guided into issuing tax forms called 1099-B. The 1099-B is an itemized statement of all cryptocurrencies that you purchased and should show your losses and gains on all of them. And it's looking like they've made some revisions on the 1099-B they're coming out with right now. It's right here on the website, irs.gov. If you want to type in 1099-B, you will get a glance at what that's going to look like and what that is going to entail as far as filling that form out if you're inclined to do so. So that 1099-B will be issued to you by your exchange. It will have how much you made or lost on each transaction. It will have how much you paid for a crypto and how much you sold that crypto for. And it tells you when you bought it and when you sold it. It gives you the time as well. Can you imagine printing this thing out? I mean, how many transactions you made and sold and all the, I mean, how many of you make transactions, like hundreds of a day even? I mean, maybe not hundreds, but maybe. And the 1099-B also tells you whether each transaction was a short-term loss or gain or a long-term loss or gain. So it'll have that information on there as well. I think Robinhood is doing this already, and maybe Webull as well, and there are some other exchanges that are already issuing this form. Now, there are some companies, some exchanges that are not kneeling to this regulation, like Binance US and Coinbase. They're not dealing with it. They think the law is obscure and they think it's overreach. So, which the new laws, which if they're not going to abide by this, the companies would be called a non-compliant company, which is against the law. So the companies that are complying with this new regulation will issue a 1099-B to you. One would go to you, and one would go directly to the IRS. So the IRS will have all of your information. And why are you bringing politics into this, Speak? I didn't bring them. They're here. In the land of twirly whirly gumdrops where everything is peaches and cream and all crypto is going to the moon, we don't have to worry about a 1099-B. Go watch those guys. No, don't leave. Don't go watch them. Stay here. I love you. I love you. This is great. Most of the exchanges are in compliance with the new legislation, and the IRS might be able to see your information. Let me rephrase that. The IRS will be able to see all of your information, unless unless, why not? Just this one time, right? Let me throw this out there. If you don't want the IRS to have access to your information or visibility to your information on your cryptocurrencies and stuff like that, you would have to use an exchange that's not based in the United States. It would have to be an exchange based outside the U.S. that's not applicable to the requirements of the legislation that we're being that's being put forth today. And that one of those exchanges is KuCoin, for instance. They're not required to issue a 1099-B because their guidelines are different than those in the United States. I'm not promoting, condoning, or justifying any illegal activity here. If you owe taxes, pay taxes. Taxes are good. The government needs your money. They need your taxes for infrastructure bills and stuff like that. Pay your taxes. So with all this said, there's only one more question to ask now. Say I did use KuCoin and I wanted to get my money back. That's the question that we have to answer to have the money brought back into our bank account, where the IRS is trying to, they're trying to do the overreach now to where they can get into every bank account with who has done over $10,000 in transactions through your bank account. So we're going to see whether that legislation passes as well. And remember, I had mentioned the app that I was working on that would totally blind. It would be kind of like an independent blockchain that should be taking your money and putting it into introverts of some lower introversions than, say, $10,000. It would be doing transactions at different numbers. However, the IRS is finding a way around that, and they're just going in hardcore right now at cryptocurrencies and things like that. So we got to be careful about the overreach. I've put a lot of videos out on the legislation about some lawmakers out there that are totally against this overreach that the IRS is pushing and the government is pushing. However, with the fiscal infrastructure bill, a lot of people will say, well, it was the Republicans that did this, or it was the Democrats that did this. But we got to remember, this was both that did this. This was the bipartisan bill that just went forth and was, this was a bipartisan infrastructure bill. It wasn't a Democrat or Republican. It was both on this account. However, the Republicans are fighting for access, or to keep the IRS out of the access of your bank accounts. So if you were to tie a KuCoin up just directly to your bank account, as opposed to the other ones, the other exchanges that are implementing in compliance with the IRS in this new rule that is put out in legislation with the 1099-B form, then in this case, KuCoin would be the only way to bring, or an exchange like KuCoin that's based outside. I'm just using them as an example. There are a couple others, but KuCoin is the third highest exchange in the world. So other than, I believe it's Coinbase and Binance. Then KuCoin is the third highest. So I'm using KuCoin as an example, but if it came from one of those other ones that were legislated to fill out that 1099-B form, then the IRS would be able to see it. But as of now, the IRS would not be able to see it if it was just KuCoin, because it would go directly to your bank account, and the IRS does not have access to bank accounts right now, which is what the Republicans are fighting for. So the IRS just can't go into everybody's bank account, needless to say, what they do or check out their private information. They wouldn't have access to that. So I would just go ahead and throw that out there as food for thought for you guys who are in this cryptocurrency world and wondering what the heck is going on now. Remember, this is supposed to go into effect in 2024. However, it has also been said that it could be sooner. Some are actually doing it now, and but it's going to be implemented, and stricter rules are going to be placed in end of December 2022. But then it's going to be totally enforced by 2024, which is another election year, which might be a good time for politics to fight in and out about what kind of private information. Now that it seems like everybody gets private information, it seems like it's a click away for all of us to go ahead and give our private information. However, a lot of people don't don't want the IRS or the government funneling into our bank accounts and our private businesses. But crypto, some people do it for fun, some people just do it for, whatever. But it's looking like it is being somewhat come up against right now by the government. And I would just like to put this out there as a new a thought on how we're going to approach the future with cryptocurrency and taxes and stuff like that, with capital gains and all these things that we need to be aware of if we're going to be investing more in this, because a 30% profit to you could be a lot less. You know what I'm saying? So guys, like, subscribe. I hope this information was valuable to you. If it is, give me a like. Let me know your comments down below on how you think the government is overreaching here, if you think they are, if you don't think that they are. And a quick shout out to my boy Jason McElhone, who is in the SBA fighting for all those small businesses out there. Smallbiz.inc. You can go check him out on Twitter, and I am with you on that fight. We're still going to fight for that $10,000 EIDL grant, the $5,000 supplemental, and forgiveness of those EIDL loans. Jason, shout out to you, brother. Jason McElhone, guys, go follow him. Or if you're into this, if you're into cryptocurrency, leave me some hints down below on a nice one to invest in. Lately, the crypto market's been going up, but now that the politicians are coming out and they're opening up the books on what legislation has put in there, things might be evening out here for a second without going to the moon. You know what I mean? Anyway, like, subscribe. Talk to you later. Love you all. Bye-bye.